Hey, welcome to Let's Eat with Russ. Today I'm going to make some chicken enchiladas. There's 100 different ways to make chicken enchiladas, so this is going to be a little bit of a phoned in kind of way to do it. By the way, please like and subscribe if you enjoy this footage or video. So first you want to kind of prep your tortillas. Again, there's a lot of different ways to make enchiladas. So this is the way I'm going to make them. But traditionally, they're mostly done with corn tortillas. I'm going to make about a dozen right now. I'll probably have too much filling, so I'll probably have to make a second batch, but you don't need to watch that happen again. So I got a skillet that's already heated up, kind of medium high heat. Just dump in some vegetable oil. And when that's hot, you just basically, literally, you just need a few seconds at a time. And actually, I'm going to use tongs so I don't burn myself here. But you just want to give them a few seconds on each side. You don't want to crisp up the tortillas. You just want to make them a little bit softer and more pliable so that they don't break when you try to roll up your enchiladas. So that should be plenty of time. And then you can just throw them on a plate with a paper towel lining on it to kind of soak up the excess oil. And then you can just leave them in a stack, and you just kind of do them one at a time here until they're done. And of course you can do more or fewer of these, whatever your needs are. Alright, so I got the tortillas prepped and softened up already in the oil. Went to a little bit larger skillet because I'm making a little bit larger batch this time. Just going to dump a little bit more oil into this skillet. Get that heated up so I can prep the filling. Again, same thing, kind of medium to medium high heat should be fine for this. This is right about half of just a pretty good sized yellow or brown onion. Again, there's a million ways to make enchiladas, so you can use red onion if you prefer, whatever. So I'm going to throw that in to get it kind of softening up a little bit. So you want to give the onion a good 3 to 5 minutes until it starts to turn a little translucent and kind of softens up a bit. And I'm going to throw in, this is about 4 cloves of garlic that I finely chopped and minced. Not all garlic cloves are the same size, so 3 of them were bigger, the 4th one was a little small. So you just kind of eyeball it. Good enough. And you just want to kind of saute this until that garlic gets fragrant. And like I said, your onions start to turn a little bit semi-clear, translucent. And only because they happen to be in season right now and because I love them. This is actually a hatch chili. It comes from New Mexico. They're delicious in my humble opinion, and I have another video that shows you how to roast and peel chili peppers. So I already have this one prepped and kind of finely chopped. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there as well, just to add a little bit more flavor. And because I'm not going completely from scratch and super authentic and whatever on this one, I'm just going to throw in just a can of diced jalapenos just to add a little bit of heat. The hatch chilies have some heat to them as well as flavor. I'm going to let that cook down and kind of commingle and get familiar with each other for a couple of seconds here. And I'm going to add a little bit of just fresh ground black pepper. Yeah, again, I'm not really using a measurement. This is just sort of to taste, just kind of eyeballing it. Some fresh ground kosher salt or sea salt. And it's about a quarter cup of fresh chopped cilantro. I'm going to toss into the mix here as well. Just adds a little bit of flavor, makes it a little bit more aromatic. And I'm going to be right back and grab the chicken that I'm going to use while I let this cook down a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken in just to warm it up and get it into the mix here with the flavorings and peppers and whatnot. So this is about 5 to 6 cups of diced or shredded chicken. You can use your own chicken and cook it yourself, or in this case, because I'm just sort of doing an easy version, I'm just using one of those rotisserie chickens like you'd find at almost any grocery store these days. Just get all that incorporated. Obviously you can kind of pick your own ratio of how much chicken to how much of the peppers and stuff. Actually, I probably could have gotten away with about 4 cups of chicken for my preference. That's a little bit high on the chicken angle, but and some people do it this way, some people don't. I don't think there's necessarily a right or a wrong way. It's just kind of your own preference. I'm going to throw in just 1 can of actually, you know what, I might actually need 2 cans for this much chicken. I'm just going to throw in a can of black beans. You do want to drain off the juice from the beans though. That might be enough with 1 can there. Again, I just kind of eyeball it, and like I said, some people do want beans in their enchiladas, some people don't want beans in their enchiladas, so you can use them or not use them, or whatever you choose. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and add a 2nd can, a looks a little bit light on the beans for my preference. So I'm going to open another can real quick. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to dump in a second. Mind you, these are the smaller, what they call it, 15.5 ounce cans. So you could probably just use one of the big ones, but this is going to make a lot of enchiladas. So unless you got a big family, you might want to do about half of what I did. Apparently I'm going to be making enchiladas for the rest of the day at this point, but nothing wrong with some leftover enchiladas. So hit in the microwave. So yeah, that looks like a pretty decent ratio right there. And since I ended up making so much and I used so much of the chicken, I'm gonna dump in a second can of the diced jalapenos. And again, whatever your preference is for heat and flavor, and kind of just do it the way you like to do it. This is the way I like to do it. So now that I got pretty much everything into the skillet here and getting it mixed in, I am actually going to add a little bit of oregano. That's going to take too long. Let me pop that off. Again, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, not really measuring it. And mostly just because I love it so much. I'm going to add some cumin. I love cumin in most Mexican food dishes. And I'm just estimating that's probably a couple of tablespoons. Probably should have measured that for the sake of this video. And then once I get this kind of mixed together, wow, even this big old skillet might not quite be barely big enough for this size batch. And I didn't make my own enchilada sauce. Again, I'm sort of semi-phoning it in, so I'm just using canned enchilada sauce. I know most people think red sauce when they think enchiladas. I actually kind of prefer the green. So I'm going to add a little bit less than half of that big can, just to get some incorporated with the filling here. Doesn't look like it's quite enough, so I guess I will go to about half of the total can. That should be about good enough. And I'm going to let this kind of just let these ingredients mingle and heat a little bit, and then I'll show the assembly process before I pop them in the oven in a few minutes. Alright, so we got our filling set to go. Just going to use this little Pyrex baking dish to throw these guys in. So basically, and I'm just using a bagged, already shredded. Again, I'm sort of making this the easy way, phoning them in. You can get about as authentic as you want. Again, corn tortillas more authentic, flour tortillas less, but easier to work with. Make your own enchilada sauce, buy canned enchilada sauce, put beans in it, don't put beans in it, whatever, however you like to do it. So I'm just using a bag of pre-grated Mexican blend cheese. So I just throw down a layer of cheese. Grab my tongs, take it, or a spoon, whatever. put a little layer of the filling, just slightly off center, makes it a little bit easier to wrap them. Also, so they don't stick to your pan, you want to dump just a little bit of the sauce into the bottom of your baking dish. Yeah, I guess I'll just use this spoon to kind of spread that around. Might need a tiny bit more. So that should be good enough. Oven's already preheated to 350, and they're usually they'll bake for 20, 25, 30 minutes at most. And when you roll these, you want to actually put them seam side down so they stay together a little bit better. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all of these in this pan, but I have so much filling, I'm going to have to make more than one batch anyway, so kind of hardly matters. However many fit is how many will fit. And again, depending on the size of your family, you might need more or less, so you can kind of figure that part out. Okay, so I was able to fit 10 into this little baking dish. Now that I have them assembled, I'm going to go ahead and dump more of the enchilada sauce all across the top of them here. And cover them with more of the cheese. And I'm going to throw them in the oven for, like I said, probably 20-25 minutes at 350 till they start to, the tortillas get a little cooked up, and obviously the cheese is all melted and all of that. And you can top them with whatever you want. I mean, you can do, sour cream if that's your thing, or fresh cilantro chopped over it, maybe some fresh red onion diced, possibly even avocado if you want to go that route. So anyway, that's basically it. I'll show you the end result in a few minutes after they come out of the oven. I actually overbaked them a little bit. I was distracted outside with my dog, so they're a little bit more baked than I planned, but I'm sure they'll still be fine. Cheese a little crispy on the top, but should be fine. And then again, just as a garnish, you can do whatever you prefer. I like sprinkle a little bit of, again, fresh cilantro. And in this case, some sort of finely chopped red onion. Basically tastes the same, it just looks a little more colorful for the sake of presentation. And then lastly, fan out a little freshly sliced avocado. And there you go. Chicken enchiladas. Not too hard to make. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.